Welcome back, everyone, to the Delusional Fan. It is top 5 time. Ryan McCloud, Chris Geraghty here. This week, in honor of the Badgers and their epic
upset.
I really wanted to say blowout, but it didn't.
It wasn't a blowout, though. Right.
I just want to say it. Epic upset.
We'll get a chance against Akron this weekend. Right.
Yeah, we'll have our blowouts coming up here on Saturday. Epic upset. We're going to go over our top 5 favorite upsets in professional sports history. My vote was I think we're going to have at least 2 on the same list, just because.
I would hope actually that we would have at least 1 or 2 on here because they're almost unmistakable though, or they're almost you can't deny them.
All right, so Rye Guy, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Start with number 5. Your number 5 top upset.
All right. So my number 5, I think, is where I'm gonna throw one at you that isn't gonna be on your list.
Okay.
This one's a little personal to me, and while you might not consider it a huge upset, in my opinion, it is. I'm taking Wisconsin over undefeated Kentucky in the Final Four 2015. Yeah. Kentucky was 38. I mean, this is it. They're undefeated, and you'll actually see a theme with my top 5 here. That anytime you can take out an undefeated team, you've gotten to the end of the season. Yeah. It'd be one thing if they were 10-0 and then they beat them, right?
Yeah.
This is the end of the season. Everything's on the line, and they upset them. They were reigning NCAA champs. Kentucky was. And they knocked Wisconsin out the year before in the Final Four.
Right.
So we had that rematch, and I was even reading up on it today. It was just, dude, that's, as of now, the greatest Wisconsin win in any sport I've ever witnessed.
The greatest?
What would you put above that? Again, if you're
any Wisconsin
and this
sport.
goes to your thing from last week, if you're not winning a national title, what are you actually winning? So
But that didn't win them a national title either.
And that's what I'm saying, is that you can put Rose Bowls in there. I don't know what else you would put ahead of this game as a Wisconsin victory. It certainly was the most excited I've ever been for a Wisconsin sports team winning a game. Again, the rematch, 38-0, knocking them off, going to our first national title in over 70 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Any other time this isn't an upset, but those stakes and being undefeated is good enough to get me on here. An incredible win. Number 4, I am going Appalachian State over Michigan.
That was monster.
That's
anytime there's an upset nowadays, everybody brings up Appalachian.
And they almost took out They almost took out Tennessee on last Thursday.
They should have.
This is the first ever football championship subdivision school to take out a top-ranked team. Mm-hmm. Top 25, right? No, They've never beat a top 25 team. Michigan was ranked number 5 that season in that game. And they were at home in the Big House. The fact that it was Michigan and they were at home and they lost, again, easy enough to put them on the list, but they were in a lower division in college football. They blocked the last-second field goal to win that game. It was an awesome game. I'll never forget watching that and my excitement there as well, because I hate Michigan. Number 3... Duke, UNLV, 1991 national semifinal.
Oh, the UNLV was considered one of the greatest, probably the best college basketball team there ever was.
Undefeated.
Yeah. But not undefeated, but not close undefeated.
Right. They
even
blew
even
teams
more than
out.
Kentucky.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Well, very similar though.
That.
Very similar though. I mean, you have a lot of NBA talent on that squad. It's before Duke was Duke as well, right? It'd be one thing if this was just a big upset that Duke had, which they can't even have nowadays. Duke will never be known for an upset nowadays, right? Even if they're not ranked, if a team beats them, they storm the court now. So I had to put that on there again. It's an undefeated team. Everything's on the line going to the national title. Of course, Duke and Mike Krzyzewski win their first national championship that season over Kansas. So cruising here. Number 2, staying with college basketball. You have any idea what it could be?
We're staying with college basketball?
College basketball. I'll just tell you.
I'm going to go Wolfpack.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah!
Right. You win a beer from your own fridge. NC State over Houston, 1983 national championship game.
Yeah.
I mean, Houston was led by future Hall of Famers in the NBA, Clyde Drexler. Mm-hmm. They had Akeem the Dream, Olajuwon. They had no business losing that game. It was a great game,
wasn't
too.
Wasn't that Phi Slamma Jamma?
That's Phi Slamma Jamma, baby. Back and forth most of the game. It led to one of the greatest endings in college history, in my opinion. Again, any sport. The alley-oop. They call it an alley-oop. It was a shot. There was an air ball that he put back in. Lorenzo Charles puts it back in at the very end there.
That 30 for 30, by the way, is fantastic.
Dude, and it's Jim Valvano. It's, just an amazing dude.
Yep.
And his celebration when they won that game is so memorable. He's just circling the court looking for somebody to hug, and he can't find anybody. But one of the biggest upsets by far in college, in any sport, really.
And you can consider that upset kind of a tournament, not only a tournament-long upset, but even the conference tournament.
Right. For them to get in, you're saying?
To even get into the national tournament. They had to win the conference.
And so that's the other thing, man. Yeah. It'd be one thing if this was a good, like a Wisconsin Kentucky game. Wisconsin was number one, a 1 seed, along with Kentucky that year. NC State had no business. They just made it into the tournament, as you just said. Mm-hmm. They go all the way. They run the table in the tournament to get to that game and to pull off that last-second buzzer beater tip back to win it.
That team will
everything
always
in
be
there.
Remembered.
Absolutely. And again, with everything with Jimmy V Week and all that they've done for cancer research, I had to put them on there. Mm-hmm. Number one, and this is one that I feel like you have to have on your list. Have we matched anything? You don't have to tell me what. Oh, my boy. This has to be on there. Super Bowl 42. Patriots, Giants.
We have 0 the same.
Wow, man. You're going to go fighting and things like that. I think I know where you might go with this. Everything was lost for the Patriots in this game, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can...
The greatest ever football season put together was lost in this game.
You can argue Belichick and Brady are the best ever, right?
Yeah.
You can argue that they are one of the best dynasties ever. You can argue that that they still, in one of their 4 championships that they have now, are one of the best single-season teams ever. You can argue those things.
Can I throw another argument?
Yeah.
You can argue the best quarterback and best ever wide receiver played in that game.
Moss and him, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, right. You can argue all this, but if they win that game, there's no argument. They are. They are the best team, the best dynasty, the best coach, the best quarterback.
Nobody talks about the Ravens.
Nobody talks about anybody. It's just always compared to them. They lost everything in this game, right? And it took them another... That was in
Was it this?
Was it 08?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The helmet catch.
Yeah.
And so again, there's always in all of my top 5, there's all these moments within those games, like you just said, the Tyrell catch. It's it, dude. That's everything that they would have done since then. If they won that game, is icing on the cake, and it's just stacking up accolades for them. But they lost. And so it's interesting, man. With that loss, they actually also are always going to be known for that loss, right? They're still one of the best dynasties ever. They still have 4 Super Bowls since 01. But they're still, but you guys lost that one when you were 18-0, though.
People don't talk about that season really as much because if they lost, there would only be that season. Everything would compare.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so now, if you do want to bring it up, though, my buddy, one of my best friends, Chris Fallon, one of the biggest Patriots fans I know. He's really one of the only Patriots fans I know. He's from Boston. But, dude, I just, whenever I need to stick something in there, that's what I bring up, dude. 18-1. That's all you have to say. 18-1. How'd that go? Dude, for all their success since, though, they'll always be haunted by that, in my opinion. So, Tom Brady will go to his grave thinking, what if?
I think them winning 2 years ago might have exorcised a few demons.
Exorcise the demons. That's right. All right. So that's my top 5. That's it.
I love it.
And we didn't share one.
We didn't share a single one.
Wow, man. All right.
And here's the thing: that there were 3 years that would have been honorable mentions. They were on my list, and I pulled them off. Okay. I pulled them off my list. Okay.
I think I have an idea of where you might go with this if we don't have any 5.
A couple of them are because it was before your time, and I think it also has to do with an age difference.
Yes.
A little bit. Okay?
Well, sure. Right.
Number 1 was Jets Colts Super Bowl 3, and here's the thing.
I also didn't want to go cliche, but...
Well, it's not cliche. The league was considered inferior.
Yes.
It was literally considered playing an inferior product, an inferior, like a pro versus college. I mean, nobody ever thought the Jets ever had a chance versus the Colts.
Right. JU? Yeah, I mean, there's no beating that team.
No. So Unitas had this team rolling. Joe Namath, Broadway Joe.
Right. Probably half drunk.
Half drunk.
Right.
And
I guarantee we went.
Yeah, probably still stinky from the night before.
Right.
Some of the greatest
Chops.
I've ever seen in my entire life says, yeah, we're going to win. Like,
I guarantee it.
No-brainer. I guarantee you we're going to win. That, to me, why it was a big deal to me, A, is because that was, that's something I grew up with. It was a big thing. But also, the balls.
Well, Jesus, you didn't watch that game.
No, of course not.
How old are you?
You read about it. The balls.
Oh, right. Absolutely.
Balls.
I'm
To say,
giving you
know
shit.
what? We're going to beat them. And,
Right. I'm not scared of Johnny Unitas. I'm not scared of the Colts.
Okay,
Right.
So, and that game alone gave Broadway Joe a Hall of Fame induction.
Right.
Because, in my opinion, numbers-wise, not a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Oh, and he became like the national sex symbol.
Yeah.
He became the celebrity that he still tries to be today.
So that was huge.
Yeah.
Now,
Super Bowl 3, right?
What?
Super Bowl 3, right?
Super Bowl 3, after Bart Starr.
After the Sta and the
Stat
Packers,
went
right?
for it. Number 4, even though I can't stand the team, can't stand both teams, but it gave me hope for this year.
Oh, boy.
Red Sox.
Okay, yeah. You know
break the curse of the Bambino. It's the 9th inning. You're down by a run.
And you're down in the series.
And you're down 3-0 in the series.
Yeah, right.
Everybody in the stadium's heads down again. It's the guys from Boston, so who cares? But it happens.
Yep.
Not only do you win that game being down in the 9th, you take the next.
Momentum is a
3
fickle bitch, isn't it?
And break the curse of the Bambino. So, Red Sox, Yankees coming back from 0-3 to me, because you could have pulled every human being on the face of the earth at that moment. Just hit pause on your freaking DVR, and they'd have went, that's just too bad. They're just not good enough.
Right.
Right?
Everything that's taken into account, the fact that it's the Yankees, the Red Sox, they're cursed, down 3. No, yeah, I agree. Everybody would put their money on it. There's not one person who thought they'd come back.
So, Monster.
Yep.
I have one a little more recent now.
Okay.
My number 3. I actually know nothing about this team. I know nothing about the league they play in, other than what I see from across the pond here. And a buddy of mine is a huge fan of one of the teams in this league.
Okay.
What I know about this is betting odds.
Okay.
And that to me is why it's the greatest upset.
Sure.
It should be number 1 on my list, but it's not because it's not emotional to me.
Okay.
Leicester City, this year, winning the Premier League.
Yeah, I have no idea. I won't be able to help you out here.
Here's why.
Sure.
Now, Premier League is it's called Premier League, but it also is the premier soccer league in
I don't like this
Europe, okay, or in England, okay?
Yeah.
So it's these clubs from around England. It's similar to, it's our NFL.
Right.
Okay, that's what it is. Leicester is the Cleveland Browns of that league.
Okay.
I'm trying to lay this out as best I can for an American
paint a
audience.
picture. Right.
Leicester is the Cleveland Browns of that league. They're not only the Cleveland Browns league, they're the Cleveland Browns' third string of that league, at least before the season, the way people thought of them.
Okay.
The betting odds in England for Leicester to win the Premier League. Mm-hmm. And I want you to think about this for a second. I'll let it marinate for a few seconds.
Okay.
Before I even give you those odds, tell me what you think is a huge underdog odds in our standard. So the Browns playing the Patriots. What do you think the odds would be? Give me a touchdown difference. What would the Vegas lawman, or what would the Vegas wise guys put that?
Like a big. You're saying okay, like odds wise.
Yeah. It'd be at least a 2 to 3 touchdown game, right?
Okay, yeah. And if you're talking about spread,
yes.
If you're talking spread, in the NFL, 14
right.
points is a big spread in the NFL.
You and I would both consider either the Browns or maybe what? Probably the Browns, the worst team in the league this year.
Consistently.
Browns, Chargers.
Yeah.
Who else?
Bears.
Okay, you consider Bears.
I'm kidding.
Fine,
I'm just kidding. No, Browns. Yes, I would consider the Browns.
Now give me an odds, meaning 50 to 100, 1,000 to 1, doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Give me an odds for the Browns to win the Super Bowl this year. What would your odds be? What would you give me odds? If I gave you a $1.
200 to 1.
You would give me 200 if the Browns win. That you'd be comfortable with that, right?
100 to 1.
Give me 100 to 1.
Yeah.
This is making my point. Leicester City's betting odds to win the Premier League, 5,000 to 1.
Yeah, that's a big discrepancy there.
The greatest upset in the history.
Now let me ask you this though: did they before the season were 5,001 odds, and as you said, that was going into the season. So as they progressed and they had a good year, I assume.
Yes, they pretty much dominated. They won. But here's the thing: they dominated with nobody and with no payroll. That was why Manchester United. You've heard them before. They have Wayne Rooney on their team. They have some of the greatest soccer players on earth on their team.
Right.
They pay. These are the highest paid athletes in the world, higher than any NFL player, any Major League Baseball. These are the highest paid athletes in the world are playing for teams that are playing against Leicester City, and they won the league.
That's crazy, man.
Imagine.
No, and
it's insane.
It is. It is insane.
That someone, now obviously I don't think we will ever again see a betting odd like that before.
Probably not.
Because how much...
Talk about your all-time backfires.
Can you imagine just throwing a $10 bet down, saying, who cares, I was going to spend this on drinks anyways?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And now you just won $50,000? I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's my number 3 again.
I hear you.
Something I don't care about sport-wise.
Right.
I mean, I'll watch soccer when the U.S. plays, fine. Something you don't care about, but how insane that, it's a pretty huge
odds-wise, that's good stuff.
It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. Okay, now we're going to get to my feels.
Now get into it then.
Okay?
Yeah.
Number 2 might be that, the Merca guys might come with, the guys that have to stand for the national. Those guys are going to go with them. This is the U.S. versus USSR in 1980. Okay? Olympics.
So I'm hoping you bring out something for their number 1, because I expected this one to be on here.
Yeah, so obviously this is here. Reason why I wanted to bring this up is for 2 reasons why this was such a huge upset. One, that team, the USSR team, the Russian team, beat the NHL All-Stars 6-0.
Right, they're all pros.
Okay.
Better than pros, right.
2 weeks before the Olympics, they beat the Americans 10-3.
Oh.
Then in the semifinal game, U.S. pulls it off 4-3. Do you believe in miracles, says Mr. Al Michaels? One of the greatest calls in sports history, yes?
Yes.
Okay, there's a few out there.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Without a doubt.
Then they go on, was it Finland they beat, win the gold medal? It was that. So obviously the Miracle on Ice, monster.
Yeah.
Just, in my opinion...
That could have been on mine, and again, you
weren't there for it. And I was barely there for it, but it was one of those
that means more to you than I think it does to me, just you being a bigger hockey fan, and I just wanted to steer clear as much as I could of those all-time great upsets, I guess.
But again, in my head, I'm thinking against the odds.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, college kids taking out a bunch of grown men.
Here's my number 1. I'm going to give you one statistic, and I'm going to see if you can choose what my number 1 is. 37-0.
37-0. It's is this a team sport? Yeah, it's Tyson. It's Tyson.
37-0.
And this is the one I needed you to have on your list. If neither of us had this on our list, there's a problem.
I'm in my house.
So thank you.
And guess what I'm playing? I swear to God, this is the truth. Guess what I'm playing?
What?
When it comes over the radio that this happens.
I don't know.
Like Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh, okay. I thought I was thinking of a song.
They weren't showing it live, so we couldn't watch it.
Right.
The only way you knew this was happening was on the radio, and we didn't have the radio
You're
station.
stoked, though, so you're playing a little Tyson's Punch-Out.
Playing Punch-Out.
What kid wasn't at that time?
Buster Douglas.
That's right, dude. Good old Buster.
He literally beat up what everybody considered the baddest man on the planet.
Without a doubt. He knocked him out, right?
And here's why it's such a big deal. The best sporting event in the United States right now is what?
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Right.
Mike Tyson's fights
rivaled that.
Not only rivaled it, we're the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl. We're talking every celebrity.
Yeah.
We're talking events in the city that was in based around that.
Right.
It's been even shown in movies based around Tyson fights.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Yeah.
People have died because of they brought that up, the whole Tupac Biggie thing, because of the energy that's brought up in this, and then Tyson knocks somebody out in 90 seconds, and everybody's so jacked that happens. There was nothing until today, the modern day Super Bowl, like a Mike Tyson fight. And people were freaking pissed that Tyson got this cupcake in Japan.
Yeah.
They couldn't watch it, couldn't hear it, couldn't see it.
And that happens.
It was like, It's like being told the
You
Easter
should look
Bunny,
up the
Santa
odds on
Claus
that.
is not real.
You should look up the odds on that.
I'm sure the odds were nuts.
Dude,
I
the
didn't
odds
look at
are
the odds.
stupid on that.
But and then the crazy part is what happened to James Douglas after that? Like, got his ass whooped,
Right.
and really never did anything again. So, though, yeah, it's my top 5, man.
Dude, and I like it. I do want to find these really quick. I do
looking
want to
for
see. Yeah, I just
Tyson's
want to see
odd?
the Tyson odds on that. Because they are pretty obscene, especially with you bringing up the odds to that Premier League. But I do. I like both our top 5s here, man. Let's see what we can get.
42 to 1.
42 to 1.
But still, that
Hey, and nothing can compare to 5,000 to 1. Like
that's
you
what
said.
I mean. And that's the
But-
Leicester City thing.
But 42 to 1 is
42
still,
to 1.
and everybody's gambling on boxing. So, yeah, man, I'm glad you put it on there. I needed you to have that on there.
Okay. That was top 5. Let us know what means most to you. Your top 5 upsets. Even if this weekend was one of them with the Badgers beating number 5 LSU, let us know your top 5s. And when we come back, we are going to do this week's picks for the NFL. We're going to do this every week. We're going to give you our locks. We're also going to give you some of our upset picks. And we're also going to do a homer pick. We'll each pick a Packer and Bear game for you. So, and what we think the score and everything is going to be. So, we come back. You've got our locks for the week.